All right, today we're jumping into one of the most intense figures in all of philosophy, Zarathustra, the prophet from Nietzsche's masterpiece. His journey, well, it's basically a radical blueprint for self-mastery, a path that throws comfort right out the window in favor of something way, way bigger. So let's get into it.
And this quote right here, this is where it all begins. This isn't some polite New Year's wish. It's a declaration of war on the easy life. Zarathustra isn't asking for happiness. He's vowing to forge a powerful, meaningful existence, even if, especially if, it's full of struggle. This is the whole mission statement right here.
So where does a journey like this even start? You might think it's on some lonely mountaintop, right? Nope. It starts right in the noisy, chaotic heart of civilization, the marketplace. This is the first battlefield, where Zarathustra has to face down the very values he needs to overcome.
Just picture it. You've got this crowd of people wishing each other a Happy New Year, hoping for a bit of luck, for a life with less friction, less pain. It's that background hum of society, that collective wish for an easy ride. And this is the exact mindset that Zarathustra shows up to completely shatter.
And here, the two paths are just laid bare. On one side, you have the marketplace's wish list, a totally passive hope for comfort and safety. But on the other, you've got Zarathustra's vow, an active commitment to struggle, to create, to overcome. It's the huge difference between asking for a life without any pain and demanding a great one, pain and all.
And Nietzsche, he actually has a name for this whole marketplace mindset. He calls it slave morality. It's a value system that's built around whatever makes life easier for the herd. Things like pity, safety, comfort. It's all reactive, never creative. I mean, think about our modern obsession with life hacks just to avoid a little bit of difficulty. That's the core of it. And this is the system that Zarathustra has to utterly reject before he can even take the first step up his mountain.
Okay, so he's rejected society's values. Now the real journey begins. Zarathustra starts climbing his mountain, but you better believe the path is not empty. He's about to face the real antagonists, these internal and external forces that are all trying to drag him right back down into mediocrity.
He's up against three major enemies. First, there's the shadow. That's that little voice inside your own head, the one that's always whispering, hey, just take the easy way out. Then you've got the soothsayer, the external voice of doom and gloom, the guy who preaches that trying hard is pointless because everything's falling apart anyway. But the main boss, the chief opponent, is the spirit of gravity. This is the force of resignation that makes life feel like a crushing weight.
And this quote just perfectly captures his main enemy. He literally personifies it as a squat dwarf trying to weigh him down, trying to anchor his soul with these two soul-killing ideas, futility and resignation. This fight against heaviness is the central struggle of his whole ascent.
So that soothsayer, he represents nihilism, that creeping, toxic belief that life is ultimately meaningless. But Zarathustra's response is so important. He doesn't just sit around and argue against it. No, he wages war on it. How? By becoming a creator, by forging his own meaning through the sheer force of his will.
So, after battling all these forces, Zarathustra finally reaches the summit. And this is the climax of his entire journey. It's this moment of absolute clarity that Nietzsche calls the Great Midday, the hour of truth.
The Great Midday is such a powerful symbol. It's that one moment when the sun is at its highest point in the sky and all the shadows just disappear. It represents total, brutal honesty, a perfect clarity where you see yourself and your potential without any illusions. And in this moment, you have to choose what you're going to become.
So, what's the choice? Are you going to be the moon, just passively reflecting someone else's light, timidly observing the world? Or are you going to be the sun, a radiant source of energy, actively creating value and giving life? Zarathustra's choice is obvious. He will be a sun. And at this point, two companions join him, and they symbolize this new state of being. You've got the eagle, which represents pride and a far-seeing vision, and then the serpent, representing grounded, practical wisdom. This is so crucial. The master isn't just some dreamer with his head in the clouds. He's a powerful combination of high ideals and real-world get-it-done effectiveness. And now we come to the final act. Having reached this incredible clarity, Zarathustra has to make his ultimate commitment. He has to fully embrace and declare his new life-affirming philosophy. This is his vow. And here we go. We've arrived at Nietzsche's most challenging, most profound idea.
eternal recurrence. I mean, really think about this for a second. Would you be willing to live your life exactly as it is, with every single mistake, every moment of suffering, every joy, an infinite number of times? To be able to say yes to that, that is the ultimate act of life affirmation. It's about loving your fate, completely and totally.
And this is Zarathustra's triumphant roar from the top of that mountain. He becomes a yay-sayer. He joyfully accepts everything, not in spite of the pain, but including the pain. He's no longer wishing for an easier life. He affirms the one he has in its glorious, messy entirety forever.
You know, this whole epic journey can really be boiled down into these 4 transformative steps. First, you reject the weak, passive values of the crowd. Second, you conquer your own inner pessimism. Third, you overcome nihilism by becoming a creator of meaning. And finally, you affirm your entire existence with creative strength.
So what's the final result of all this? What does he become? The philosopher becomes a dancer. All that weight from the spirit of gravity is gone, and it's replaced by lightness, by laughter, by joy. He can now move through life with this incredible creative freedom, living in the sun, with no shadows of regret or fear holding him back.
And that brings us to the final, piercing question that Nietzsche leaves for every single one of us. This isn't just some abstract thought experiment. It's a direct challenge. If you had to look at your own life through this lens of eternal recurrence, what would you need to change? Not to escape it, but to get to a place where you could scream yes to it, joyfully, forever.